it's so easy to get dehydrated when you're working, like especially when it's not hot out. Like definitely staying hydrated, drinking, like, yeah, lots of water. Make sure to have like water on hand for everybody. That's super important.
One of the ways that's helpful to really to be thinking about health on set is clothing and having proper clothing, whether you need jackets because it's going to be cold. That can really tank your productivity and health in a hurry. Another one with that is shoes because you're on your feet a long time. I've seen Facebook group discussions. Lots of people have different ideas and recommendations on very comfortable shoes for because you're on your feet a lot throughout the day. So just whether you need hats or jackets, shoes, whatever that is. I've been overseas on things before and made a note to next time wear cargo pants because you need more pockets. And so just think through clothing is very helpful in productivity and safety for whatever the project may be. An obvious one would be food and to eat would be like number one, which seems obvious, but as we get busy and if you're working, one man show projects, we're very passionate about the projects and very creative, and that gets to be more important than actually eating food. So if it's just yourself, bring food, plan for food, budget for food. If you have a team of people, think about food, plan for food, budget for food, and try to have things, healthy options. You can get nut mixes, or there's protein bars, and there can be healthier versions of all these things. And then Andrew mentioned water, which is very helpful, important to stay hydrated. Dehydration, again, tanks productivity, will put you on your back. So make sure to stay hydrated. And coffee kind of counts, but doesn't really help on the hydration side of things. But it can help you stay awake. I don't know if that would really go in the healthy side of things. Somebody's going to argue with me on this in comments or something and say antioxidants, and I've heard all this stuff on coffee. I'm not against coffee, but I don't know if it necessarily goes in a necessary health thing. Um, the third one I would mention is also kind of goes in an obvious category, but sleep. So part of then having adequate sleep goes into good pre-production and planning things well, so you're not staying up till midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, trying to hit set at 6 a.m., 8 a.m. the next morning, and you don't have enough sleep. I understand that there's seasons where we work hard, we serve hard, we sleep less to get things done, but it's not a long-term plan for health in the industry, especially if you're on longer projects. You need to protect the sleep and be refreshed mentally. That does help them physically in ailments. I guess I would add a fourth one to say, if you're not feeling well, if you are hurt, speak up, be vocal, tell someone, tell the set medic. There should be no reason to keep pushing through on something that's unnecessarily. I've had shin splints before, running camera and stuff, and you talk to somebody, get something looked at and fixed. Don't make things worse. So I guess another piece of that would be if you're on a large enough project, have someone that has some sort of medical background. This is kind of if you're producing and in charge of projects, if you're overseeing, that's hopeful to have someone's a set medic if you're on a project large enough for that. But having anybody who has some sort of medical background is really helpful, and even small things. The simplest stuff could even be have first aid kits, band-aids, those kind of things are often missed. But on the personal side of things, think about what you're wearing, shoes you're wearing, hats, think about the food you're eating, and eat food, and what you're consuming, beverages. Energy drinks are not long-term recommendations for health. And then think about your sleep. So those would be three core things just on personal side of health for working on projects that I'd recommend.
One thing I'll just mention really quick on that too, I feel like, and this is going to sound like super trendy or whatever, but like mental health is a actual thing for filmmakers, like especially because what we do is knowledge work. And so your mind is, at least especially in like directing or those kinds of things, like your mind is your biggest asset. And so like JC mentioned, like sleep is really important. It's really difficult to get oftentimes, especially when you're in charge of something. But even if you aren't getting as much sleep as you might need, giving yourself space to actually just think. And like if you're an introvert like me, that can be even more important, where it's like just taking, like, even finding moments on set where like there's the nutsiness and craziness, finding moments where you can just kind of step aside and just kind of think, process, pray, like kind of like help just like recenter and refocus, can be really helpful, especially if you have a longer project. Like, if it's just a 3-day shoot, you can really like burn late, and just go for it. But that's not necessarily answering the health question, but it's especially important when you have like a longer project to be able to, take that time to make sure that you're able to think and process. So even if that means getting up extra early, rather than just like jumping straight into it as soon as you wake up, those kinds of things can be helpful just to keep your mind going.
If I missed anything, let me know. Send it in the comments. What's been helpful for you guys? Let me know if I missed anything. And if you have any recommendations on healthy snacks, food, or ways to get sleep, favorite pillows, I don't know. If you have any suggestions, send those as well. This is part of the community and helping each other with ideas that are helpful.